As we start, we're talking about the road to profitability. Again, I'm the maintenance manager for Cardinal Glass in Beaufort, Georgia location. We have about 12 members in our team, and you might find the results of what's going on very interesting at the end of it. We'll cover that. Well, when I came in, first thing I realized some of my initial challenges in the temper division that I'm now over. There was no real maintenance organization. Work orders were word of mouth. Inventory management was not in place. There was a lack of parts. We're in the run to failure mode, but we're walking around every day fighting fires, and didn't really realize that until we started putting some initial measurements in place. There wasn't anything in place, and so everything we did from day one in October 2008 and moving forward has allowed us to promote and show that our success as a team here at Cardinal. So I decided it was time to get started, and first thing I did was to establish baseline for measurements. I came up with the uptime formula, and I pulled that out of one of the books I use. It's a very valuable tool with me over the years. Was called Installing TPM. I guess I can plug that in a non-Japanese facility, and if anyone's interested in that book or asking questions about it, you can talk to me offline on it. But in there, it has a lot of different formulas to include mean time between failure and OEE and different formulas, and I'm slowly pushing those up. We did not know in this facility what our cost of downtime was or what the burden rate was, so the first thing I had to do was approach accounting and start asking a lot of questions. Can you tell me what it costs to run this line for 1 hour? And when you're down, tell me what it costs you. And no one could give me those numbers, so together we came up with the numbers and put those as part of our measurement. Now, the problem with change and promoting change is everyone has the fear of the unknown. So communications are very valuable in order to be successful in creating change. And I was afforded the opportunity to work for one of my plant managers for 17 years who was constantly promoting change and challenging change. So I kind of brought that into my skill set, and I'm a big person and supportive of change. So with that, I brought in measurements. We would have daily production meetings and grant you in some days at 15% downtime. Now that I kind of pushed the numbers before them, there was a lot of days that I really didn't feel confident to go into the production meetings because I knew they were going to nail us to the floor with issues that we hadn't taken care of and couldn't track and didn't overlook. And then I started after things started working again better, we established weekly meetings with production. So after the tools were starting to be put in place, things started getting better. But we were still not at the point where I was able to collect a lot of data because I didn't really have a system to implement. The other side of the facility, which was the coating department, was using MP2. So first thing I did to get started with something is I acquired a license and pushed up MB2 and began to use it. I entered all the assets that are responsible for in our department, started parts inventory and using work orders and established labor, and we just began tracking data. Here is one of the formulas that I use currently. We have gone away from talking about downtime to strictly talking about it in our uptime, because that's exactly what we want to be as a maintenance team. We want everything up and running. So here kind of shows you how we come up with the formula, and you'll see some of the numbers used in some attached slides. We take the uptime kind of equals the operating time minus the downtime times 100 divided by the operating time, and we are breaking that down into minutes. And if you have any questions about CMMS or asked for any consultant thoughts or some input, doesn't matter if it's email or whatever CMMS you may have, feel free to call me at any time.